Hello GWs, new scenery here today. So I wanted just to tap in. Sorry about the other night. My internet, I don't know what's going on. We have a lot of storms here in Florida, so the internet doesn't work too well. So I switched locations for now and see if I can make this work. So today's topic is righteous anger versus rage. And are you unleashing your wild woman, Baba Yagig? So, the subject matter is huge for me because right now going through Saturn and primal and instinctual things are coming forward for us. It's more or less that we're fighting, one, we're in our own way at times, but we're also fighting for survival right now. Money and resources. You may be fighting with your partner. You may be fighting with someone, a coworker in your job, all these things, because there's so much tension. And how are you unleashing this anger? And as we know, anger is not a very nice subject matter, especially for women, because it's considered to be bad. It's not nice, and anger for a woman is really considered rage, that we're out of control, we're too sensitive. But anger is actually the most amazing, powerful, instinctual emotion that sets a boundary. It's how you say it, the tone of your voice, your body language, and how are you expressing it. So Baba Yagig, Wild Woman, is about how are you now releasing, expressing your anger right now. Are you using it through creativity? Are you dancing? Did you look up at the moon? Are you doing anything that has to do with connecting to Mother Earth? Because as women, when we're not connected to Mother Earth and we're not fully grounded, we take on so much like a sponge, and then all of a sudden we start projecting things that aren't even ours, and one of them is anger. Because especially if you're an empath, you're taking on all the baggage that's around you, which now affects your immune system, and then you're reacting, which creates more karma. So righteous anger was one of my measurements in the 4-Body Fit Sierra Bender Empowerment Method. It is my favorite. So I defined what righteous anger is. Made it more clear for mental health and more clear for women. Righteous anger is I will not be victimized or compromised. I am victorious and I am courageous. I have the right to be angry at certain things that are going on around me, especially for thousands of years how women have been treated and how we're now fast forwarding to this present moment right now. So those of you who are having a really rough time with your relationship, you're really having a rough time with your love relationship, you may be having a rough time with your kids, all of these emotions that are trapped, where are they going? How are you dealing with all of these emotions? And if they're not handled, it turns into anger, which then turns into rage. And people handle anger differently. They either bring it in forward, they get quiet because they don't like confrontation, which now creates depression and puts your nervous system on overload, which is not good. And then we start overeating, drinking more, we become more sensitive to our environment, and you're not cleansing. So Baba Yagig, Wild Woman, is like go outside, lay down on the ground, dance in the rain. I was doing it the other night at the barn. I just was with my horse and just got soaking wet and was just like, take me, just cleanse me, oh great spirit. And, I'll lay down on the ground, I'll connect my belly button to the earth, anything that's not of service to us. As we know, our pent up emotions create not only tension, which then leads to disease and illness. And right now for women, it's really rough because our hearts are so vulnerable. How do we protect our beautiful feminine essence and be open and vulnerable, yet at the same time protected? Well, that is the goddess warrior. She understands that balance. And she is the wild woman. And she does not fear her anger or her rage, especially when necessary. And when you know how to channel that anger in a healthy way, it's respect. People respect you. But again, as women, we are taught that our emotion of anger is not healthy. It's not nice. It has to be toned down. It has to be shut up. We don't have the right to be angry. Is that true? No. It's just, again, how are you dealing with it on an emotional, intelligent level. So for me, the anger is always the huh, huh. When we do the ha breaths, pulling up energy, universal energy above and pulling it in, and then Mother Earth energy below and pulling it up, and then uniting both forces. So when I'm doing my huh, huh, and I'm coming from my belly, not ha, from here, which is very pray, because it's a high pitch. If I'm coming huh from my voice, it actually deepens my voice. Instinctually, when you speak, people will feel your energy to not come into your space. It's all about the tone of voice, and it's always about your body language. And anger is basically an antenna that says, ooh, somebody came into my space without invited. Somebody's looking at me uninvited, maybe inappropriately. Someone had said something inappropriately. And so that anger just is an antenna that says, wait a second. Something just crossed a boundary with me, and it doesn't feel very comfortable. Now it's your choice of what you're going to do with it. You could do it through eye contact. Every mother knows what it looks like to look at their child like, don't you dare even think about that. You can think about how you can just dismiss the energy. Like, that's not my stuff. As we always talk about, not my shit, not my stuff. You could actually dismiss someone, saying that you're not even worth my time or my energy because you pissed me off, which now you value your energy and take yourself out of that situation. So a lot of that's going on right now because we're so confined in what's going on in the universe, and everybody is on reactive mode. So how do you not create more karma, more drama, more chaos for your life? Is you have to be comfortable with your anger. You also have to be comfortable with expressing it. And what happens is, if we hold it in too much, it becomes explosive. And yes, that is when we get out of control and we become too bitchy, or, the term too bitchy. We become over demanding. We become even violent with ourselves, where our expectations are so high, because underneath that anger is pain. Underneath anger is always pain. So how are you holding yourself accountable to release, to process, to assimilate these emotions? Otherwise, they become explosive. And so that's my tip for today. So, the emotional body, your physical exercise would be the ha's. Practice verbally. The 13 levels of empowerment, the online program that I just put out. Yay! It's called the 13 levels of empowerment for women warriors. And the 13 levels have to do with how to stay in your core, how to not give your power away. How to not give your power away. It's 13 levels, guidelines, in a specific order for you to hold yourself accountable. Now, it's because, if we knew what our energy was as women, then we would know when we were giving it away. We haven't been taught this. We have not been taught this as little girls. And so now as we grow up, it's like, oh, I have to be so compassionate, so love and light. I have to be kind, and nothing in the world is negative. That's not true. And that's not reality. And in order to maintain that perfectness, perfection, spiritual, you have to go out of your body because it's so uncomfortable. And then you make yourself vulnerable to prey. Because if you are not physically present, then you become prey. So I'm going to end with this. Your anger is one of the most powerful emotions. Your righteous anger, to set a boundary, to say, this is uncomfortable and I deserve respect. And respect comes through your actions. Nobody's going to just give you respect. No one's just going to give you respect. You have to work it. You have to earn it. And when someone feels really safe around you, you're very present, that's because you're emotionally intelligent, that you're able to feel and express all emotions. And you feel that in a person. They're very grounded. They're open, again, yet protected. That is the goddess warrior. I'm open, yet I'm protected. I'm peaceful, yet I'm fierce. I'm compassionate and powerful. So it's the balance between the two. So if you haven't seen the 13 levels of empowerment, it's online. I'm going to leave the link. It's in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, which you'll see. I created this. It was a program at Omega and Kripalu. It was very popular. and it was CE accredited. And then also there's a certification that'll be coming out in the fall. So I train a lot of social workers, therapists, people, health practitioners. So you could do it one-on-one with your clients. You can create your own goddess group. You could do for teenagers. It's, to me, the 13 levels of empowerment. You know, why I created it is like AA for goddesses, goddess warriors, women warriors. You know, the one thing that was always missing in AA is the 13th level is embody it. It's not just about showing up and listening and learning new skills. It's about how do I embody them. And 13 is the number of the divine feminine. There's 13 moons. 1 and 3 equals 4. Numerology, which is Mother Earth. 13 grandmothers, the indigenous grandmothers. So 13 is a very, very sacred feminine number. So if you haven't known this yet, everything that I do has a shamanistic approach behind it, because that's who I am. Number 2, it's always about the divine feminine. And now, you know, we're feeling what's going on in the world by not being balanced, and we as women. So I know my righteous anger is what saved me to step into my power, but also saved me emotionally, because I was in so much pain of always giving and giving and giving, which is masculine, not feminine, because that's what we're taught. And then at the end, you're fried out. You're not healthy. You're, you know, again, breast cancer, stroke, heart attack. It's like the highest ever for women because we're so stressed out and we don't value our emotions. And emotions is part of being a woman. So you have to express, don't suppress. One of the levels of the 13 levels of empowerment. So, Amanda Wood, yes, for teachers, yes. So you have to go through the program yourself personally. Once you're done, because now you have the whole program, and each one of the levels is teaching you the 4-body fit method. So number 1, for instance, is level 1. You have the right to say no. What does no mean? What does that mean? How do I say it? Body language, tone of voice. You know, as women, what we do is we explain our no. We keep making up excuses for our no. The more we explain it, the more we demean the no, the power of the no. No means no. So if you were teaching a group of young girls, teaching them how to say no, body language. If you were teaching, you know, women on college campus, I did for rape, they use these 13 levels of empowerment. People who are dealing with sexual assault and abuse, people who are just dealing with issues in their everyday life as women. Everyday women, we have not been taught what our power is and how to work it, how to be with the power, how to use the power, not abuse the power, not act like imitation men, but what is the true divine feminine power? Again, it is feminine, fierce, and focused. It is open, yet protected. It is compassionate and powerful. It is peaceful, yet fierce. So, everybody loves the exercise part of what I do, which is amazing because I love it too, because that is helping you. But you got to get past just the exercise. You can't start from the physical body and think you're going to work up to the spiritual. You have to start from the spiritual and work down to the physical, meaning whatever you do on the spiritual level is automatically going to trickle into the mental, the emotional, and the physical. And that's when you see the results. And that's when you start to realize that I am my practice. I embody it because I am my practice. I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to will it anymore. I don't have to show up on the mat as much anymore. I am the practice. I am the practice. So, I hope you get a chance to look at it and sign up. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great, great night. And remember always, you are the 21st century goddess warrior. You are feminine. You are sensual. You are sexual. You are powerful. Don't let anyone ever take your kindness for weakness or ever take you for granted. Have a good night.